Good morning, everybody. Back again. This is Notes on Your Screen. It is Tuesday still, April 21st, 2020. Getting my day started. Hope everyone out there is safe. Trying to create a new little format here. We changed the name, calling it Notes on Your Screen. I want to talk briefly today about some things that are going on with the pandemic that are going to turn around and affect us, the citizens. One of those things, our president last night, deflector-in-chief Donald Trump, tweeted. Of course, he's got to tweet it. Can't come out and say it in a press conference. Can't come out and say it in a press conference. This man's got to tweet it. Thinks that the whole political system is ran on rallies and tweets. But, so, tweeting last night around 10 o'clock that all immigration to the United States is curbed. Stopped. Okay? First and foremost, I do believe that almost all immigration and world travel has been suspended for the past couple of months now. And due to that, you can see that there's effects from that happening already, being that there's no planes in the air, cargo ships are not going around the world as much as they were before, especially oil production and oil distribution around the world. Look at what had happened yesterday when oil barrel prices went from $60 a barrel all the way down to negative $30 a barrel, which means I would have to pay you to take a barrel of oil for 30 bucks. Okay, I'd have to pay you $30 to take a barrel of oil from me. Then the Chinese markets opened up, and to try to rejuvenate and help the oil markets, a barrel of oil went up to $1.38. Okay, by my mathematical calculations and estimates and whatnot, we should be paying about 25, maybe 50 cents for a gallon of gas in the next week or two. Don't quote me on that. That's just my estimate, and because if oil is so cheap, why would gas be so expensive? Now, back to the immigration part of what President Trump said last night. You know, he's also implementing restrictions on migrant workers that have visas to come into this country that work as and with farmers to help pick and produce the food that we buy in grocery stores. Okay, I said this in another video before about food production and food shortages during the pandemic. Now, I'll reiterate on it. There are 2.5 million farm workers in this country. 1.5 million of those farm workers are migrant workers with legitimate visas that come in from Honduras, Guatemala, Mexico, Ecuador, southern Latin countries, okay? If you do not let them into this country, that is 1.5 million workers that are not going to be able to help produce, help package, help pick our crops. Corn, strawberries, blueberries, lettuce, tomatoes, cucumbers, all that stuff, okay? Now, if this happens, then these CEO farmers are not going to be able to have the workers that they need. Then their crops are going to dry up and wither because they're not going to be able to be picked in time during the harvest season. And right now is the harvest season. It seems as if the Trump administration is just trying to do anything and everything that they can to put a chokehold on anything and everything that is going to help and benefit the citizens of this country. First, we're talking with this immigration point, okay? The reason Trump is doing this is he knows that by going up during his press briefings and talking about immigration, tweeting about immigration and putting a stop to immigration, he knows that his base is going to love that. He's going to shore up his base. His base is going to go out and start talking to their friends and start telling everybody, oh, look at what Trump's doing. He's making immigration stop now. Everything like that. Guess what? Immigration has been put on hold for months now. And in the long run, his actions towards immigration, especially with these migrant workers that legally have visas to come here, is going to affect us, the American citizens. When we go to the grocery store and we want to buy a head of lettuce and there is no lettuce and you're forced to buy bagged lettuce, when you want to go buy cucumbers and there is no cucumbers, there's no peppers, there's no tomatoes. I know this for a fact. I've gone shopping the other day. I couldn't get cucumbers. I couldn't get peppers. You know, I want these things for salads. We eat salads here in my house. I eat healthy. It's gonna really make an impact on a lot of citizens. And a lot of citizens are not as fortunate as myself and my family, where I have a yard here. I have started a garden, planting my own carrots, tomatoes, peppers, cucumbers, things like that. No, I feel really bad for the individuals that live in high-rise apartments that are stuck on the 5th, 10th floor in their little 2-bedroom apartment, not able to create a garden, not able to maybe have chickens for eggs, because eggs are starting to go off the shelves like crazy, and you have egg companies destroying 150 to 200,000 eggs a day. You have milk companies dumping 25 to 30,000 gallons of milk a day. Why not distribute that to the homeless? Why not package it and start distributing it to supermarkets, shelters? You could package it and ship it to the field hospitals. The field hospitals for the workers, for the patients. It's baffling. It's baffling. It doesn't compute in the brain. I don't get it. Why we would waste this much food, and then in turn having the Trump administration denying legal migrant workers to come into this country and help us citizens. I don't get it. And then you take, like, this morning. This morning I'm watching news. Okay, I watched lots of different news outlets. This morning I was flipping through, watching a little bit of Morning Joe. Okay, I don't watch that all the way through. They kind of beat a dead horse a lot. Very hypocritical at times, but there are good statistics that do come out of that and whatnot. I don't pay too much attention to the editorials and the commentaries. Like I said, a lot of them are somewhat hypocritical. But as I'm watching it this morning, Joe Scarborough pauses and starts reading off of his phone about how our deflector-in-chief, Donald J. Trump, started tweeting about Joe Scarborough as Trump is watching the show. We are in the middle of a global pandemic, and we as a society in this country are failing to adequately provide our citizens with adequate testing, viable antibiotic, or a viable vaccine. The 3 things that I say we need without a doubt, okay? No, our deflector-in-chief is deflecting. He is tweeting, berating a news commentator who is just doing his job, telling the truth about the narcissistic ways of our deflector-in-chief, and he doesn't like it, so he goes onto Twitter and wants to tweet about it. You're wasting your time. You're wasting everybody's time. We need someone who can lead us during this pandemic. You, sir, are not doing it, unfortunately. Yesterday, I saw a video about a helipad in Arizona, northern Arizona, supposed to be bringing COVID-19 patients to Albuquerque, New Mexico. Okay? At first, I didn't know how to feel about this. I felt kind of odd, But then as I did the research and looked into it, predominantly northern Arizona is the Navajo Nation, where the pandemic has run rampant and infected so many people with deaths, okay? They don't have proper infrastructure up there. They don't have proper hospitals. They don't have proper running water, sometimes electricity. And all we're trying to do is bring these sick individuals to Albuquerque because we have proper field hospitals here, because we have proper infrastructure here, we have adequate medical facilities that they can go to. It's not that much of a bad situation, and everybody that I had saw with this video commenting and everything saying that this is so bad, why would they do this? It's not. I mean, you're just going to let the people just stay there and die or get infected? I do get it in one aspect. Maybe you could build a field hospital in northern Arizona. Could do that instead of putting them on a helicopter and traveling them over here to Albuquerque. But then again, I guess some people don't think that far in advance. It's just so much going on. Don't know where we're going to end up. I was talking with my daughter's teacher yesterday and asking about what school's going to look like next year, what they're planning on, if they're planning anything, how they're planning. She was talking about they might be talking about doing like 1 month of school and then have off for a month, and then 1 month of school and then have off for a month. It doesn't sound appetizing to me. It doesn't sound good. It doesn't sound promising at all. And now I'm starting to hear political officials, government officials talking about the same thing with our economy. We can open up the economy for a brief period of time and then shut it down, and then open it back up and then shut it down. You're just going to see surge of cases and then none. Surge of cases, then none. You're just going to, by doing this, you're going to create a man-made wave of the pandemic until there's an antibiotic or vaccine. And that's what they're saying. They're saying that they want to do this on and off again, opening and closing, until a viable vaccine or antibiotic comes out. I get it. You want people to go back to work. I get it. People do want to go back to work. People are afraid that they're not going to be able to have money for food. They're not going to be able to have money to take care of their kids. I get it. I 100% get it, and I understand. But we need to first look at, first and foremost, our health and our safety. And opening up for a month or two, whether it's schools, businesses, whatever, like I said, it's just going to create a surge of cases, and then it's going to dip down, and we're going to think everything's fine, open back up, surge of cases, back down. I'm not saying deaths. I mean, there may be a couple here and there. I'm saying cases. We're going to have surges of cases every time we open up schooling or businesses to help rejuvenate our economy. Speaking about rejuvenating our economy and opening up businesses, Georgia, a couple of other states. Georgia, I can remember because it just sounds so asinine. Governor of Georgia came out a couple months ago after everybody knew about asymptomatic people, about contamination, transformation, all that stuff, and comes out and says he just learned that asymptomatic people can carry it and give it to other people. We've been talking about this for months, and now you just come out and say it. And now the governor of Georgia is the first governor to announce that he's going to start opening up certain businesses. And what certain businesses is he going to start opening up? All right, here you go. Spas, massage parlors, yoga studios, tattoo businesses. Pretty much all these businesses have one thing in common: personal, hand-to-hand physical contact. When you're doing a tattoo, you're doing what is technically considered a minor surgical procedure. There is blood involved, there is broken skin involved. Whether or not you're wearing gloves or not, it is in the air. This virus has not been researched enough to find out how long it actually stays in the air for, how far it actually has to go. First they were saying 3 feet, stay away. Then they were saying stay 6 feet away. If they're telling me I have to stay 6 feet away from somebody because they may have it, How am I going to be able to tattoo somebody right next to me, this far away, where my hands are? My hands do the tattooing. And that means someone is sitting right in front of me. That's not 6 feet away. That's not 6 feet away. Same thing with massage parlors. If someone's laying on a table and you're there massaging them, that is not 6 feet away. What they need to do for opening these businesses, in my personal opinion, okay, you can open up some restaurants. If a restaurant has 30 tables, you get rid of half those tables, maybe a little bit more than half. You take the dining room down to 10 to 15 tables. Yes, the business is going to get a hit on revenue coming in, but at least they will have some form of a revenue coming in. And look at the amount of restaurants that could open up and do this to help stimulate the economy. And it wouldn't just stimulate the economy through restaurants. It will help stimulate the economy through farming, agriculture, meats, all that, okay? Opening up massage parlors, hairdressers, places like that. And I'm a tattoo artist for 20 years. I have the utmost respect for all my tattoo artist friends out there and everyone in the tattoo community. But we need to think, okay? You really want to have somebody sitting right in front of you? They sneeze, they cough, they're talking while you're tattooing? I wouldn't want that. I don't want that. I don't know if you do. I know you want to go back to work, artists. I know you guys want to go back to work. But it's a hard nut to swallow that it might not be the best option at this point. I mean, we're artists. We could design clothing. We could sell flash. We could make posters. We could do tons of other things to try to help give us revenue. I know about this because I'm an artist and I've been an artist for years now. Now when it comes to massage therapy, I know nothing really about that. Hair cutting, I don't know much about that, but I do know that when you go to get your hair cut, that person is right here above you, breathing down on you. Okay? Mask or not, it just doesn't seem good to do. Same thing with massage therapy. You're laying on a table, somebody's standing above you, massaging you, rubbing you with oils and everything, full physical contact. It just doesn't sound proper to me. It sounds like we're looking at this on a backward scope. You know, we want to open up things that are going to help and benefit our citizens, meaning restaurants, I'm trying to think. Restaurants, craft stores, for instance. You know, if people are home isolating, how are you going to say you're going to close Michael's Arts and Crafts, Hobby Lobby, stuff like that, but yet you got Walmart open, Home Depot's open, okay? If I'm at home with my kids self-isolating, I need activities. I need stuff to do. I would love to go to Michael's or Hobby Lobby and start grabbing some stuff. Only let 10 people in the store at a time. Make sure that they social distance and keep their 6 feet apart. But that's a business right there where people are not touching each other. Same thing with restaurants. You sit down with your family, you got 3-4 people at a table. The waitress or waiter comes up to you. They take your order, they walk away, they come back. They could take your order from 3 to 5 feet away. People have ears and people have mouths. You don't have to be right next to each other to take a plate order. And when it comes down to giving the food, you just need to be practical and be hygienic. Make sure you wear gloves before giving someone their food. Make sure you change those gloves after every time you give somebody their food. You put plates on the table, you walk right away. Let that family eat while having a set distance between that family and the other family at another table. Politicians, government officials are not thinking this through on a safety level. Oh, and it's going to hurt us in the long run. You take South Korea, for instance. South Korea has had many people that have tested positive, recovered, and then they automatically, under the assumption that, okay, you already had it, you're not going to get it again. Go ahead, you can go to work now. Okay, this kid goes to school, this kid goes to school, this person goes to work. Now they're starting to see a resurge of cases from people that have already had it. which goes to show that this is not like a seasonal flu where you get it once and you don't get it for another year. It shows that you can get this again and again, especially without any type of antibiotic or vaccination. Protests are starting to turn violent. Ecuador, they're turning violent. Russia, they're turning violent. Israel, they're turning violent. In Greece, they have a camp of children that they're immigrant children, I believe, from Syria, that are just sitting in a camp just waiting for coronavirus to ravage it and its children. We all need to combine our efforts. We all need to combine our thoughts, our finances, our expertise in what we're doing. We need to stop looking at this with labels: Democrat, Republican, Independent, Conservative, Libertarian, Jew, Muslim, Shiite, Sunni. All of it. We need, we can't look at this on a black and white issue. We can't look at this on a Latino to white issue. We can't look at this on any type of label issue. Fuck your labels. We are humans. We need to rise up and come together as one humanity. We need to look out for each other as our brothers and sisters. We all come from one God, no matter what you believe. All our skin is soft. All our blood is red. We are all the same. We all come from the same place, no matter what land you come from on this globe. We must unite, and unite as one humanity to do our best to overcome this pandemic, this virus, because this isn't going to be the last one. There's going to be more after this, more and more, and we're not going to be prepared for it. We're going to be ill prepared for these viruses. They come out because we turn a blind eye, and or we use political means to try to push an agenda on what you think is right. It's disgusting. A white man thinks one thing, African American thinks another, Muslim thinks this, the Jew thinks that. Why can't we all just sit back, talk together, and realize that there is one common enemy out there right now, and that is coronavirus, COVID-19, SARS-CoV-2, whatever the hell you want to call it. That is our one common enemy right now, not each other. Not putting sanctions on countries or leaving sanctions on countries. That's only going to hurt humanity. It's going to hurt individuals. Baffling. Frustrating. Don't know what to do about it. Just trying to do this and try to get the word out there. But that's what we need to do. All these people that are out there protesting, creating these parades and just all this stuff, you're just adding to the problem. That's it. Just adding to the problem, adding to the discourse, adding to the slice in humanity and the separation of humans because of racial status, economic, financial status. I mean, look at what's going on. They're talking about producing on a mass level hydrochloroquine and taking that drug to these rural, poverty-ridden, low or no infrastructure towns in Africa and giving it to the people there to try it out on them. But didn't, the WHO said 2 months ago that was not what they were going to do. And now times have changed from 2 months, and now that's what they're talking about. You can't do that. Those people are not inferior to us just because they're from Africa. Does that mean that I'm from Pennsylvania? Does that mean that people from New Jersey are inferior to me? No. We're all the same. It's appalling to even think that way, that you can just test a chemical out on a certain amount of people because they're in a impoverished community and they have low income, low or no infrastructure, and they live poor because they are poor. That doesn't mean that you can just throw a chemically induced drug at them and say, here, try this. Let's see how it works. What happened to proper clinical testing, proper clinical trials to find out if it even works? Because as I know, hydrochloroquine has cardiac side effects. Heart attack, high blood pressure, things of that nature. So what, you're just going to go give it out to all these African people that you have no idea what type of medical history they have. You have no idea if they have the virus yet or not. And you're just going to give it to them. That's wrong. That is wrong on so many levels. Wrong on so many levels. And that would be wrong in Africa. It's wrong in Iran. It's wrong in North Korea. It's wrong here in the States. It's wrong anywhere. You do not just throw something to people and make them your guinea pigs without them knowing exactly what's going on. You think they're going to walk in there and have them people sign waivers? You think they're going to go in there and tell them people, hey, we won't know if this is going to work, but we do know that there's chances you might have heart attack. We do know that there's chances you might have high blood pressure, but we don't know for sure if it's going to help with your COVID-19. Wait, where's the clinical trials? Where is statistics on if this even works, if this drug even works? It's just horrible that in this day and age that we would be thinking of something like that. They did that kind of stuff back in early 1900s and late 1800s. They find a vaccine, they find an antibiotic or something, and they just tried it out on people. A lot of people died because of that. They didn't implement proper full clinical studies on things. And keep the findings of what you found in testing and everything like that. They didn't do that back then. Are they going to do that now? Probably not. If you're just going to take a drug and throw it to a certain amount of a population in a certain area to see how it goes, you really think that they're going to keep statistics on who had a heart attack, who died because of hydrochloroquine out in that area? No, they're going to give you the good statistics. Oh, we tested it on 20,000 people and 5,000 of those people, beat the coronavirus. But they probably won't tell you that 4,000 of those people had heart attacks or died. That's a big chunk, I'm just giving estimated numbers, but I'm just estimated, my theory. It's so wrong in this day and age, 2020, that this is going to happen, that this is happening. This is the life that we are in right now, and it's a shame. It's a shame that this is the life that we must live in now, and and I don't know what the future is going to hold. Like I said before on videos, I have twin 7-year-old daughters, and what is the future going to look like for them? What is everything going to be for them in the long run? Post-apocalyptic war. The sun burns out. What are we looking at here? Looking at more viruses coming? When climate change starts really enacting, and the ice caps start melting, and all these viruses that have been hidden in there for thousands of years start being exposed all over the world. Yeah. Well, pretty much done my coffee. I've been rambling on for a minute, half an hour now. If you want to, please, comment, share, like, subscribe, pass this along, give me some feedback, give me some topics to talk about. Email me or hit me up in the comments below. Give me something to talk about. Do some research. Put me to work. Do some research. Put some things together. Please, for anyone out there, like I said earlier, anyone that wants to donate to help our healthcare workers on the front lines, not just in New York City, but in any and all hotspots around the country. Go to redcross.org. They will take donations, and they are helping to put together packages of PPE, food, and possible housing for these healthcare workers that are on the front lines, our heroes at this moment during this time of war and this pandemic. Like I've said before, our soldiers during this are not wearing fatigues and guns. They are wearing masks and gowns and gloves. And they are the true heroes at this point right now. Those who are on the front lines trying to mitigate and help our family members, trying to help our citizens, trying to help humanity get through this. Remember, this is greater. This is way greater than a black and white issue, Democrat-Republican issue, Sunni-Shiite issue, Jew to Muslim issue. This is bigger than any political issue or territorial type issue. We are at a global war with an unseen enemy, and we as the human race must unite and stay together and stand as one. If we don't do that, and we just keep having deflections and splinters of who's right, who's wrong, and the fighting and the bickering, it's not going to stop. And that virus will win. That virus, it doesn't care if you're Republican or Democrat. It doesn't care if you're black or white. It doesn't care if you're Latino or Native. It doesn't care if you're Shiite or Sunni or any type of sect of Christianity or sect of Judaism or sect of Islam. It doesn't matter what country you're from. It doesn't matter what country you live in and what country you're from. This virus has touched the whole entire world, and it will not stop until or unless we as humanity unite together and bring forth a common bond to fight this head on as humans. That is all I have today, for now. Maybe something a little bit later. But I hope everybody stays safe out there. I hope everyone is good out there. I hope everyone had a good 420 yesterday. Thank you for watching. Like I said, please subscribe, please share. If you want to donate anything, go to redcross.org to donate to help our healthcare workers on the front lines. Thank you very much for watching, and this is Notes on your screen. I am out.